Good morning, this is Tamara-Tamara. I'm standing on the back porch of my house. Yesterday we had a wintry warning. Well, it was for a couple of days from now. And so my daughter, youngest daughter, was supposed to go into work yesterday. And she was like, okay, she was preparing to leave, but she didn't really want it to go because the snow was heading in our direction. And we're on the East Coast. She was ready to go, and she got a text message from her boss saying, "Don't come in. If you do come in, you're only going to be working for an hour because the snow is on its way." And so my daughter was going to be working from 5 to 10, and she was going to work by 4ish, just in case, because the Uber rides are, quite expensive. So she was going to take an Uber ride there to work, and then she was going to stay there until her shift was over. She's like, I'm ready to go. But there was no snow at all, nothing. So she's like, well, I can do this. I said, yeah, the snow was come down very hard. So we were waiting because of the build up with the television. With the news report, everybody was saying, stay inside, don't go outside. If you're going to go outside, get what you need, and do not go outside and play in this snow because this is a blizzard. And this is a different type of blizzard. It's not like passing snow flurries. It's going to hit extremely hard, and it's very cold. And then to find out, she got a call from her boss and said, do not come in to work. No, her boss said, are you coming to work? And she said, yes, I'm coming in. And then I said to her, oh, I don't even have any gloves on my hands right now. Let's see. And I said to her, are you going to come to work, go to work for an hour? And she said, what do you mean? I said, I think your boss is telling you that they're closing the store at 5 and you got to be in there at 5. So she says, well, I'm planning on going in early. I said, I know. So if you go in early, they may put you to work. And then you probably stay there till like 4:30, 5:30. So you're only going to be there for an hour. And she goes, that doesn't make any sense. So she tried calling her boss back and asking her boss. And her boss said, girl, I told you, do not come. I didn't say come. I said, do not come here. The store is closing at 5 o'clock. So we was laughing and we was enjoying our conversation. And then we kept checking the weather outside. The weather yesterday did not look like this. Although we knew that the snow was on its way, and we waited for it. We waited for that snow to show up, and it never showed. And my son called me from the south, and he's like, Mom, did you get any snow yet? And I said, no. So I said, did you get any snow? He goes, no. So he sent me a picture, and it was just of dry land. So I ago, and it was just ice, and it was melting because we had. Hi, Destiny Sparks. Ooh, it's freezing, and I don't even have my gloves. I'm inside. Look. So I'm inside that's the upstairs apartment, and this one is mine. and I'm standing in the doorway, trying to do a short little video today. and and so my son sent me the picture, and it was dry. It was nothing. There was nothing on the land, and he went to the dog park. He let his dog Kofi run around, and he was like, "Yeah, there's not much to do." So I sent him a picture of what we had, and it was just the remaining amount of snow from last year. Oh, I do want to go for that all around. Uh, yes, look at that, and look at the neighbors, and I know that she has 2 or 3 dogs, and I know they're older, so I'm not sure if she's gonna let her dogs come outside and play in this blizzard. But dogs, they like to run and they're very adventurous. I know if I had a dog, my dog would be outside, and I will be inside watching the dog run around. Oh, speaking of dogs, I'm really praying that God will give me a golden retriever and a black lab. Those are the dogs that I want. I can't wait until the Lord gives me one. I've been praying for years. I mean, I know I can go get one from the dog pound, or, ask around, and and to go get one for myself. But I really want one when the time is right, because my apartment is very small. And speaking of dogs, my son, he had went on a vacation with his wife and his 3 children, and he was unpacking his belongings into the garage. He was sitting on his porch, just looking at the window. I mean, looking at the sky and all things like that. And he said he saw something moving in his around the fence, and he was trying to figure out what is that. And he said it kept crouching and moving. And he kept saying, I don't know what that is. So he didn't call his wife or his children. He just sat there, and he was like, I'm going to figure out what this is before I go inside. And then happens to be, he said, then he saw the tail wagging. He says, oh, it's a puppy. And she came running up to him. She jumped on him and laid down on his lap. And he's like, oh my gosh, it's a puppy. And he said he couldn't let her go because he was so impressed. So it's a border collie, and he checked to see if she had like a chip, or if somebody was going to call for her. They waited hours. He called his wife and he says, come downstairs, let's look at the baby. Oh, look, let's look at the puppy. And they drove around. And nobody looked for her. They took her to the vet, and they said no chip. So they waited, and they put out flyers, and they did everything. You could see my footprints in there. It's me. And to find out that the dog didn't belong to anyone, and she was so friendly. Now he already had a older dog, and the dog was I don't remember what kind of dog it is, but it's like, I forgot what kind of dog, but the dog is so nice, so gentle, very, very kind. And I thought, oh my gosh, here comes a puppy. Sometimes dogs don't like it when other dogs are around, especially if you don't introduce them right. It's like a process. But it ended up being really good. The introduction was just so instant. You had no choice but to do it that way. And they took to each other. And the dog was so little, and he said, oh, my house was already like, his house was already like, yeah, subtle. He didn't have wild children. He has, kids are kids. One day they're gonna surprise you with pink hair. The other time they're gonna surprise you with, a broken leg or arm. And sometimes they're gonna surprise you and say, hey, this is my girlfriend or whatever. But the dog was the surprise, and everybody was, the dog fit right in, and everybody seemed to enjoy her. So he showed us pictures of her in phases. He says, look at her now, it's a puppy. Look at her months later, she was growing. She was growing, and she was growing. Oh man, she grew a lot. She's very tall, and not tall like, not like she is as tall as a, how do I say, like a Malamar, but Malamu, or I'm saying it because it could be a marshmallow and the other one is a dog. But oh, my hands are freezing. But yeah, so anyway, she's just as tall as she can be. And I said, Jarrell, I told my son, I said, those dogs love the outside. He goes, oh my gosh, I have to let her outside every hour because she can't control herself. And I said, yeah, they love to run and they can't move. So that's the end of the story. You guys lift up a prayer for me so I can get my dogs. And, oh, I didn't show you this area over here. Yeah. Let me see if I can go outside a little bit. I don't want to fall, but show you in a different angle. Everybody's still asleep over here. But as soon as the sun come out, what's that type of weather called? Blizzard. And don't you come outside and play, It's a blizzard. Oh, looking at it, I'm sure I'm glad I'm in Texas where it's sunny, high 75 and low 53. Jeez, it's snowing over here in Brooklyn, and it's still snowing. Yeah, Brooklyn, New York. Yes, it is. Jeez, my family's there too. Oh, I need to call my family and ask them. I don't think they're gonna call me either. They're like, girl, you ain't calling me to ask me to shovel outside. I ain't saying about shoveling. I just called to just check on you. Yeah, I know how it is. I used to live in New York, man. I remember those days when I used to live out there. My mother used to send me and my sisters and my brothers to the store in this type of weather, and she was home with her feet up. Oh my gosh, I was so upset. I was like, how dare you, Mom? You could hear the roaring. Listen to it. I don't know, put the volume up. Just listen to that. This is the type of weather that you watch on television, and they have like these Western movies, and you hear like this rustic guy wearing this leather jacket halfway open, halfway on, and he's wearing this beaver hat. I mean, I'm like exaggerating, and he has like this, his weapon beside him, and he's got these snow boots on, and he's walking with his trusty uh horse, and his dog is behind him like, yeah, don't mess with us even though we're cold out here. We're just gonna look the part. Okay, we're just gonna look the part. But we're freezing. Yeah, that's the kind of weather. This is the kind of weather that these movie stars listen to it. I locked myself out. I locked myself out. Jelly at jelly underscore donut will not be able to hear me. So yeah, so that's it. All right, so I showed you guys enough. My hands are, look, my tips of my fingers are so cold right now. I am going to end this, and you guys have a blessed day and stay warm. And if you are out here in this weather, oh my gosh, dress wisely, please. All right, stay blessed. All right, bye.